Gregory Louden. I'm a narrative designer at Remedy Entertainment. Yeah, it's actually, I can give you a bit of an idea. I actually am a computer guy. I studied computer science, so I was a programmer, and I was lucky enough to work in animation and visual effects. So I worked in Sydney and London, and I got to work on some great films like Gravity and Prometheus and World War Z and Happy Feet 2 and a whole bunch of films I'm really proud of. And for me, Remedy has always been at the forefront of storytelling, and I've always loved games as much as I've loved cinema and film. So when I applied to Remedy and they were happy to talk with me, I was stoked. So I've been so happy here, and it's been almost about 3.5 years, and I've been on Quantum Break since the beginning, which has been really exciting to help develop a new IP and on a new console and develop a whole new idea for a game with blending a live action show with a game experience. So it's been a roller coaster ride, but it's been really fun as well. So I can't wait for players to experience Quantum Break. Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's been a lot of things that I've taken from film, particularly the art direction. I found that working in visual effects really trained my eye from working with really brilliant visual effects supervisors and film directors. And the thing that I found in games that I've had to learn is how to allow the player to interact and how to play, and allow the player to always do things rather than show them, let them play. And that's been a big thing for me, and something that a mantra I've had is, how else can I get players to play this? Rather than watch it, I can get them to walk around more. How can I get them to do new things? And that's been a whole different style of things to learn. Usually in film you just worry about one perspective, one camera. But in games obviously you have the freedom of the camera, so it's more about building a world, which has been so exciting, and bringing my eye for visual effects and art direction to that has been even more exciting. So yeah, it's a great medium. I love games, and I think I'll definitely continue to work in games. I'm very excited by the future of it. I think it all started from the overall goal. I think the writers, when they were collaborating with the writers for the show, 2 separate groups, Lifeboat Productions and Remedy Entertainment, the goal was connection. We wanted the 2 worlds to combine. We didn't want the show to be separate. We wanted it to be one and the same. So based on that goal, I think everyone at the company and at Lifeboat have really tried to join both worlds, as you said. So making sure we have the same characters, making sure we have the same props, the same art direction. So Monarch looks like Monarch in the show and in the game. And as a level designer, as a narrative designer, making sure that the optional storytelling, I don't know if you noticed that we actually reference the characters from the show and we have them littered throughout the game world. So it's always been a goal of connection and blending the 2 worlds. And actually, I think one thing that's really interesting is usually in games it's very black and white. There's the good guys and the bad guys. But in Quantum Break, you get to see the bad guys and you get to see that maybe they're good as well, which has been really exciting. I think that's one of the greatest bits of value with the game, is the fact that you do get this full live action show that you can actually, we've paid so much attention to the detail, and also last but not least the junction stuff that you can essentially direct and create your own player's cut, which is really exciting. Exactly, and that was definitely one of the goals, and I think for us was that we're really trying to provide this whole experience for you that you don't usually get, and using the strengths of both mediums in a way. And I think that's always been the goal for us, is how do we actually create a more interesting story for people, to actually more thought-provoking storytelling, which I think Remedy is always famous for. So I think it's definitely been a goal, and I'm glad that you noticed that we actually go into these sort of details. So it's going to be interesting to see when you finish the game and you see the full story, and I'm curious to hear your take on it all, but you're definitely correct. It's all very intentional and designed in a way. It's very big. You can imagine as well, for like level designers, we get the screenplay and we're trying to convert it in, and then you have junctions, and you can script things incorrectly, and it's mountains of screen pages of things to go through. Then the show screenplays as well. I think a big thing for Lifeboat, which they had to tell the film crew, is if you think about it in live action shows, you usually shoot a series once, you have one screenplay. But we were telling them that we actually need you to shoot this sequence twice, but with different actors and different performances, which for them was just unheard of. Obviously in games it's more of a formality and common, but for them it was very different. So it's been very challenging in a way, but also I think they pulled it off. It's very exciting. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to play it twice, but I think with Quantum Break we really allow you and give you a reason to want to play the game twice and watch the show twice. So yeah, it's been a very, very big script. Very, very big script. And then you can imagine all the iteration that as we rewrite, it's been a mammoth task. It's also been really rewarding in a way, but the amount of, I wish I could show you the charts of the time travel. That's the thing that I found. I think it's, as you know, they always say time travel stories are the hardest, and we have full charts of where characters are going in timelines, and then combine it with the branching. So there's been a lot of notes, but for me it's been daunting at first, but then just so exciting because I'm realizing that the more attention to detail myself and the writing team and all the people at Remedy really pay to the story, the more it's going to be rewarding for the players when they finally see these moments, these twists and turns, and actually experience the time travel and notice the small details. It's there, but it's been very challenging in a way, but also so exciting. And I think I like to say that Quantum Break is almost like a lifestyle. Like it's almost like I've graduated in Quantum Break. It feels like I've done a degree of, after working on it for 3 years, I've got this completely new, unique experience that I can use ahead. But yeah, it's been an adventure, that's for sure. I love it. I think it's so special. It's there hasn't really been a time travel action, cinematic, realistic graphics, TV show connected junction moments, and right now we're still bug fixing, we're still polishing, and I think everyone is super excited by it. It's just being part of something new and special, and I love science fiction and getting to do a new take on time travel. It's just, it's so cool, super cool. For us, that was always the point. Like, I think that moment you mentioned there is like that's when you know this is Quantum Break, and that's when you know this is a special game, and that's when you know how the time travel works in a way. And I'm so glad that you've responded so well to it, because that's been completely intentional. And I think part of the reason I'm so excited in talking about the game, as you can imagine, is I've been locked up. I've been so excited about the project, and only within these walls at Remedy can I really talk about it. So the fact you're getting to experience it and you're enjoying it is so exciting. But yeah, there's a lot of references and a lot of great ideas that went into that sequence. So I can't wait to see players react as well, particularly like on Twitch and streamers and stuff like that. It'll be very cool. One thing I mentioned to you was like one of the tools we have is the timeline editor, and it allows us to kind of create lots of tracks of detail. Before, when we used to do that, it was scripted through code. And basically, I think wanting to get more people involved, it was always complicated because they'd have to know how to code, they have to know all the commands. But with these new tools, it essentially means we can make the lighting and the cinematography and the special effects timed perfectly, which when you're scripting it is quite difficult because you need to know exactly the timing and you need to know what scripts to call, and that's taken it away. The other thing is the dialogue writer for us. It's really made taking a great story written by the writers and convert it into a way that can be played in the engine a breeze. So I have so much respect for the tools and all the coders at Remedy. A, for pulling off the game, of course, the rendering, and B, for providing the gameplay and also the providing the tools. So the tools have been great. And it's also, you really feel the legacy of the software in a way, because you know it's been used on Alan Wake. And I know when I started, you could still see the remnants of Alan Wake. You could see the flashlight references, and you could see so many things. I didn't show you, but even small details like the way that we access stuff has a little logo of Max Payne and Monen on it. So everyone is a big Remedy fan inside of here, and they try to make all the tools as fun and interesting to use as well. So, and it's great, it's proprietary. You can just go downstairs and you can chat with a tools programmer, and sometimes they tell you you're crazy and they can never do that, but every once in a while they're like, yeah, we can do that feature, and then it works, and it's makes work a breeze. So as I mentioned in my background, like I've worked in animation and I've worked in visual effects, and for me I find the tools and the software are one and the same. Like we're using motion capture, film uses motion capture. I think the facial scanning technology we have at Remedy is spectacular and probably superior to some stuff that film people are using in a way. The visual effects software we use to actually blow stuff up is used in Hollywood movies. The animations, there's plenty of people who worked at Remedy who worked on feature films as well. And then when you get down to the actors, we have these great Hollywood actors that are in these amazing television shows and great films all coming in. So I think everyone's been saying that there will be a time when it crosses, but I think it's happening right now. I think the people behind the scenes worked in film, like myself, and now the people on the screen in games worked in film. So I think we're only going to see that more and more. And I think for gamers, and I think it means a lot more detail, it means a lot more great things, and I think you don't have to worry about the interaction going away, because I think the people that worked in film are inspired by it, like myself. It's a whole new opportunity. So it's going to be really exciting ahead, and I really think we are converging and I think it's already happening. So I can't wait to see what happens ahead.